Hello everybody, Lake Station Community Advocate and Educator back again, and we should be finalizing the multi-part misinformational fund. So, because if everybody paints me as a liar and what I'm saying is a lie, paint any picture you want, or the excuses, you're a liar, you're a troublemaker, you're a whiner, you're a complainer. And it's funny because all the people that I'm getting those exact responses from are the people that are part of the administration that has for so long plagued our community, schools, and our administration here in our government. And it's going to be expected that their family members get involved, as they always do. And it's no surprise as to why they not only watch my TikToks, all of my social media accounts, and what I'm going to say next, because their job and their goal is to shut up any advocacy for making sure that the community knows exactly what's going on with the finances within the schools, within our community. Because oftentimes while it's always said, oh, you can come to a council meeting, well, it's a funny thing. I just went this past week and there was nobody there because there was not enough for a quorum, which is peculiar considering they all work for the city and they all work in the same building. It's kind of weird. Either way, these same people that are trying to hush me up are part of the school board. They oversee the finances, and they oversee other aspects and have been there for quite some time, and some are newly fresh with new degree in accounting and other things. However, I want to touch on the websites. And if you think that I'm lying, that's why I'm giving websites, and that's why I've always given websites. And no, the school is not the authority on this paperwork. The authorities are, and like the State Board of Accounts and Department of Local Government Finance and the State Department of Education. All of these things are out there, and right now I wanted to show you some of their websites. So this comes up to the Department of Local Government Finance. This is what you'll get. And you can kind of click on, you can go through those things. You can Google Indiana.gov and you can pop up Department of Education. It will take you to their websites. But my favorite, yes, is Indiana State Board of Accounts. Because this is where you're going to find documents, such as these, that it shows the mismanagement. And the audits are basically their small investigations as to why or where funds are going, why they're being appropriated, and what the school tells them where it's going. And in my other videos, I've clearly shown what's going on and happening. And this is how you find them. Go to www.in.gov/SBOA/ and you will come to the Indiana Board of Accounts. And you will click on Audit Reports. And as you click on Audit Reports, you're going to see here, you put in what you're looking for. What you're looking for is Lake Station. The county, Lake County. What are you looking for? Private school, charter schools, whatever the case is. In this instance, you just put school. You hit enter, and then there's going to be a search bar, and you scroll the screen up, and you get this. And you will get these PDF files or these open links where when you click on it, it's going to pop open the school, what it is, what county, the date that it began, the date that they ended, what kind of type of audit they're doing. Is it a financial? Is it federal? Is it what's going on there? And then, it gives you the report and why. And here's some information for this. So here it's going to say this is supplemental, right? This was back in 2018. These are 2020. That's a federal compliance, meaning they want to know why they're not complying with what's being asked of them. There's federal, there's supplemental, there's others, there's federal here. It's kind of weird that the federal government and the state has to continually babysit and overwatch how the school funds are being managed and mismanaged. And not my words, but it's actually in some of these documents where they don't know where the schools are openly admitting that they don't know where the cash went or if it's check. Who's getting it and who's not. So if you think I'm lying, let me show you. Right here in the first document from state of Indiana, it says that they identified instances of noncompliance. What is noncompliance? Well, here's some of the things. Again, I went through this in my other videos, but take a look. Not all receipts issued were prescribed by the State Board of Accounts. They were generic duplicate receipts that were purchased from an office supply vendor, which means they thought they can get away with that, and there's actual state documents that they got to fill out properly. This here says, well, we were unable to determine, the state was unable to determine if all collections were properly remitted to the, meaning that they were applied to, the extracurricular treasurer. Some sponsors, meaning some of these people that are sponsoring, dispose of the handwritten receipts they issued in these times and dates, which, by the way, these dates are pretty imperative and are important because this is when they started toying with the idea of using the idea of getting rid of the buses to fearmonger our community. The third thing is let's see here, yes, handwritten receipts. If collected, they were remitted. Number 4, due to the lack of detailed sources, we were unable to determine if all funds were remitted. So even the state's struggling to find out where the money's going because what's being turned in by the schools. This is not my word. This is what their documentation and audits are saying. And by the way, these are open to the public, which is why I'm doing this, to advocate to make sure that the full community knows exactly what's going on in our schools. But this here, receipts issued by some sponsors did not designate if the collections were in cash or in check. Now, cash is hard to track. Checks sometimes are hard to track too, and even so. Therefore, we were unable to determine if monies were deposited into the same form. So that's funny. So they can't tell if the cash is there or the money's there or where it's going to. So they had problems in things like inventories and ticket sales and control over the concession stands, the gym uniforms, which were, by the way, they were overpricing people and then they didn't know where the money went. Some of their disbursements as to how their sponsors and things that went on. And, by the way, it was for what? Extracurricular. And to the treasurer, payable claims and checks, they bypassed the accounts payable, claims, and check processes used. So people are purposely bypassing the processes even though there's some implemented within the school districts. Let's see here. Documentation was not provided that the school board approved the fee or if there was contract for this service. Funny. So that means they're doing it without the proper procedures. Educational fees, as you see, and you can pause. And as you see here, this is to them. It says that they've determined, we perform procedures to determine the compliance with, if applicable, under Indiana laws. We perform procedures. The audit results described identified reportable instances of non-compliance. So they're not even complying with state records. And it's kind of funny, but yet you guys want to make sure that they have more money to mismanage, and it's for the kids. Bull hockey puck. And like I've said, they even found some leases in debt. The grants. Well, that's funny. You got grants. That's quite a bit of money here. Others include names bypassed through entities and identifying. Now, that's so funny. But I'm the liar. I'm giving misinformation. No, I'm making sure the community knows the truth of what's being said and that I'm not being painted as a liar. Just an advocate, an educator. I hope I've educated you some. And I am advocating for a better, more transparent, held accountable administration in our community. I'm the Lake Station Community Advocate and Educator. Be an eagle, don't be a crow. Challenge the status quo, because if you don't, you never know. Be the change you want to be the change you want to see. And please feel free to go to these websites, www.in.gov/SBOA/ and you will find exactly what I'm talking about. Have a great day.